What's up, everyone? Week 11 in the books. And it looks like it's over. It's over for Eli, two-time Super Bowl MVP. My improbable run, looked like it has come to the end because this loss was a big loss. Today, I'm going to discuss a few things. First, I'm going to talk about the tailgating thing this past weekend. I'm also going to discuss how the playoff seeding works. And then I'm going to talk about potential big matchups. There's a big game this week that could pretty much determine the whole playoff outcome. First, I want to thank everybody for coming through for the tailgate thing. It was pretty fun. 8 of us went and played some dominoes. Had some Vaughn came through with the sausage and peppers. Frank came through. He made some steak wheels. He brought some chicken also. My boy Len brought some shish kebabs. We had we had pasta salad. We had chips, cornbread, you name it. We had it. It was fun. So thank you everyone for coming out. It was 8 of us. We actually had a football game that went on too. It was very funny. It was the OGs against the Young Bucks. Oh, sorry. OGs was me, Frank, Juan, my boy Len. All of us 45 and older. Going up against the Young Bucks. It was my sons Jordan and Brian. It was my boy's Len's son, Len Jr., and it was also my cousin Frankie, Happy Bacon Strips. So, they were 33 and under. We were over 45. They took an early lead, 3-0. Len's son was killing us, scored us for 3 touchdowns. It was like the Energizer Bunny. And then we came back. The OGs came back, ended up winning 5-3. Got hurt in the process. Body was aching. Scraped myself up a little bit. Bust my ass a few times. But the OGs pulled it off, man. We won. It was very fun. All right, so let's go into the seeding. So this is how it's going to work. Don't go by what Sleeper is showing because we're going by what was agreed upon, I think, last season. The playoff determination is first based on head-to-head. So if 2 teams tie for a certain positioning in the playoff spot or even for a last playoff spot getting knocked out, the winner of the head-to-head is the person that gets the higher seed. That's only if it involves 2 teams. So, for example, let's say me and Juan are tied for the 8th spot. I beat him head-to-head. I would get that spot. He would drop down to the number 9 seed. All right. Now, what if there's multiple teams tied for a certain spot? 3 teams have the same record. The first determination is going to be head-to-head, but it has to be that one team clearly beat everyone else. So, for example, if it was me, Juan, and Alex, and we were all tied for let's say, the 7th, the 8th, and the playoff spot, or in the 9th spot, not in the playoffs, if all 3 of us were tied, I would get the 7th spot because I beat both of them head-to-head. Then the 8th spot will be determined on the head-to-head between Juan and Alex. Whoever won that would get the 8th spot, and the team who lost, I guess to both teams, would get the 9th spot and be out of the playoff spot. Now, what if you have 3 teams and each person beat another team? So let's say it was me, Alex, and Juan, and I beat Alex, but Alex beat Juan, and Juan beat me. Since all 3 of us had beaten each other, and there was no clear one person who beat the other 2, then the team who scored the most points, that's what will be determined. So the highest scoring of the 3 would be the 7th, the next highest the 8th, and the lowest scoring of the 3 would be the playoff spot. And that's going to be the determination of the seeding throughout. So the head-to-heads are important, but also how much you score is going to be important depending on how many people tie. And why that's important, because right now, I mean, we got 3 teams who got eliminated this week. Ojo Meister, Bushwick Hitmen, Pits and Giggles, all eliminated this week. They all lost. Ojo Meister was at 2-3 at one point, has now lost 6 straight, is at 2-9, eliminated. Bushwick Hitman has lost 3 straight, and he's also at 2-9. He's eliminated. And Pits and Giggle has lost 4 straight. He was at 2-5. Now he's at 2-9. He is eliminated. So now we have Eli, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, and Happy Bacon Strips, who are on the fringe. We're on the verge of getting eliminated. The odds of us getting in is weak. Frankie actually has a better shot because, as insane as it is, Frankie is like the 3rd or 4th highest scoring team in the league. He's just had bad luck of teams beating him because, man, the dude is 4-7 with 1,600 points. But it's just Frankie. So it's not like you've been playing poorly. You just have had bad luck, man. Because you should have a better record. Then next up, you have Frank's Bills, and talk about a team, the highest scoring team in the league, and he's on the outside looking in. Last week's loss is huge to Frankie because it drops to 5-6. It drops him one game out the playoff spot. But what's more crucial than that? If you look at the schedule, and listen, if you don't know how to check this, it's very easy. If you go on the app, you could pick a team, and then right here on the left-hand side, you see schedule. You just click on schedule, and it shows all the games they played against who. So if you look at Frank's remaining schedule, Frank has MTM 8000, Hawk Tua, Y2 Deal. All three teams were over 500. And the MTM 8000 game is a big game because if Frank loses to Marco, Frank may be out. He may be done because he'll be 2 games out because let me tell you, looking at the rest of the schedule for the teams who are 6-5, Marco has Frank, then he has Bad Boys, then he has Legendary Giant. Marco, too, also has to go against 3 teams over 500. Well, 2 teams because Frank isn't. 2 teams over 500. But if he beats Frank, he'll also own the tiebreaker against Frank. So in essence, he'll have a 2-game lead on Frank with 2 games to play. No, actually, yeah, if they tied up, there's nothing he can do about it. Because even if he loses the next 2, Frank can't beat him. So if he beats Frank, Frank cannot get in tied with him unless another team is involved. If you look at Legendary Giant, who, let me just say, man, he can't win this year. If he was a 4th straight championship, I've got to shut down the league because, like, it's insane. His name will be all over that damn trophy. But you look at his schedule, he's 6-5. He's got Bushwick Hitmen, Happy Bacon Strips, and Team 8000 left. He only has 1 team over 500 left, and that's the end of the season. He's going against Bushwick Hitman, who's already eliminated, and he's got Happy Bacon Strips, who's struggling. Listen, a high scorer, but it's 4-7. Then you have Buffalo Bills. And if you look at their schedule, he has Ojo Meister, Gotham Knights, Eli 2-time Super MVP. So he only has 1 more team that's above 500 that he has to face. So, and let me just see. Frank, who did Frank beat? Frank lost to Juan. So he does have a tiebreaker. So if he goes into a 3-way tie if he loses to Marco this week, and then somehow makes a run and gets into a 3-way tie with Marco and Juan, Frank is done because he's lost to both of them. His only saving grace is if Alex gets in because that's the one team he did beat. That's right. That's above him. He beat him 217 to 135 in week 3. So Frank has to win this week. If Marco wins, Marco solidifies his playoff standing. Because the only way Marco then gets knocked out is if somehow Alex drops and they're all tied and then they go by points. And then from there, I believe Marco then does, because Marco is the least scoring out of the 3. Let me just confirm. Yeah. So that would be the only way. The only way would be if Marco 3-way ties with Alex and with Frank. So for Frank, he needs to win this week to stay alive. Marco, he wins this week. He solidifies his playoff chance, but puts it as a lock. There's only one team that's clinched, and that's Terry. Gotham Knights, the first team to clinch in the league. Yeah, man. Like I said, it's going to be this week. The game I'm looking at is Frank's Bills and then Team 8000. It's a huge matchup. And right now, it is Marco with the slight advantage, 156 to 151. But as we know, that means nothing. It's going to be, and listen, everybody's healthy. Almost everybody's healthy on both teams. Drake London is out, but Frank has a lot of depth. So yeah. Again, I appreciate everyone coming out to the tailgate next year. Doing it in September. Doing it earlier. So I'm gonna start. I can't wait to see when the schedule comes out, and I hope to see a lot of you guys out there, man. It's fun. We can all get together, bullshit, have some fun, play some dominoes, drink some beers, and listen, we can even do some trades if we do it early next year. You guys be safe, G-man. If I don't talk to you, if I don't do a video next week, you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy. Hope you with loved ones. All right, and we'll talk soon.